Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown with Bonds. I am your host, Coach Bonds, and unless you've been under a rock or maybe you're just not into fitness culture, you probably have seen the controversy with your boy, Joey Swoll. Now, before I begin, this isn't an attempt to bash him or just bash men or white people or what that's not what this is. I'm just like reveling in this because this is not the one, not the two, but the third time where I've had an interaction with someone who was so loud and wrong, loud and proud, and then when they realize, oh snap, she's not just telling me this because she's an angry black woman, what she said, oh snap. If you are someone who has a person like me in your life, a coach, a friend, a woman of color, or a marginalized community that has an insight or perspective on something that you may not know, regardless, you can use this information, this guidance for your whole life. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And especially for this to be a health and a fitness podcast, I really need this to sink in. You don't know what you don't know. And so even though that's not the topic of today's convo, a lot of y'all are spinning your wheels trying to figure out why you can't get the goals that you want or reach the things that you don't know what you don't know. Literally, I was on a phone call yesterday with like a business consultant for something because I'm trying to go about this, getting a grant for the gym or getting a loan. And then I found out which way I need to actually pursue first. And again, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And so a beautiful way to make sure that you don't ruin your reputation, or at the very least, his platform is going to be fine, because the people that don't support him anymore after those comments were people like myself who weren't really fucking with him anyways, who just happened to be somebody on our feed that we saw. He's still going to have his supporters, just like Mercedes Chandler is still going to have her supporters, even though she's a hot ass mess. Why? Because we have so many people who don't know how to use discernment and good judgment. Before I get too hype and start doing this like a Siobhan Speaks Social podcast, let me tone it down a notch and come back to what the topic of today's podcast is, which is, hold on, put the glasses on. Ugh. Does gym culture repel you like a church does an atheist? Now, we're going to jump into that because I posted a couple times about that today and covered this topic, but I really wanted to dissect and deconstruct it and dive deep into it with you. But before we do, if you don't know who I am, my name is Siobhan, Coach Bonds, and I've been a personal coach technically for a very long time, but I've been a certified personal coach for the last 7 or 8 years. I help women overcome their mindset blocks, but I also help people with the basic tools that help you thrive. And it's not just something that's in fitness. It's not just something that's in, how long have my glasses been crooked? We're going to go back and edit that whole part out. So y'all just stay with me. All right. But before we do, let me intro myself. My name is Siobhan, Coach Bonds, and I've been a personal coach now for the greater half of a decade. I specialize in helping people get to the bottom of what's really holding them back, right? Instead of hey, you're overweight. Here's a workout plan. It's why are you overweight? Oh, I don't like to go to the gym. Why don't you like to go to the gym? Because I get nervous. Why do you get nervous at the gym, right? I'm that annoying coach. But those annoying questions are what actually gets you to the root of what's going on. I take a holistic approach, meaning I don't want to just hear about your macros. I want to hear what had you so mad that you ate over your macros, because from there, we can now problem solve. So anywho, that's who I am. That's what I do. And while I've been doing this in different spaces, corporate gyms, boutique gyms, online space, I notice a very similar trend, which is that women, especially women of color, need a place to feel safe, seen, and supported. And when we are safe, and when we feel seen, and when we feel supported, the sky is the mother trucking limit for us. I'm proof in the pudding, and the clients that I've worked with over the years who have gone on to start their own businesses, who've gone on to become personal trainers, who have gone on to become pilots when they never thought they would even be small enough to fly a plane because of their weight, right? I have seen the results of women getting the safety that they need. And anyone who's into divine feminine energy or manifestation, spirituality, that safety is one of the most attractive things for a female to a male. You can ask ChatGPT. I don't know if this was a real post, but I saw it on the interwebs. But it was what do women seek in relationships, or what makes a woman fall in love with a man? And it's safety. This is why there'll be good looking dudes and whatnot, but you won't fall. You can have a hot guy and you still fall in love with the dude with the dad bod, because the dude with the dad bod is safe. And I don't just mean, I can mean safe in a different way. You could talk about financial stability, safety, or you could talk about safe, he's not going anywhere, safe. Whatever it is, that is a key component of women's ability to function or thrive is safety. One of the biggest issues that I had in my personal journey was not feeling safe to soar, not feeling safe to be successful, not feeling safe to speak my mind. And when you don't feel safe, you're literally stifled. Like your potential is weakened. I've literally been in sessions with women where we be working out, doing their own thing, and the moment they lay eyes on someone who they're intimidated by, whether that's a male or a female, their train of thought is off, and now their head isn't in the game. But imagine that same woman being in a space where she's not having all of those issues. Like, yes, we're all going to be in our head, but you can imagine just how much more output, how much more intention would be put into that woman's workout if it was something that was done, if it was performed in a space where she actually felt safe and wasn't subconscious and she could really focus on herself. So my goal is to create that safe space for women. And what I noticed online is that a lot of these coaching spaces weren't safe for people like me. When I say safe, the first thing that people who have not come from marginalized communities or who haven't decolonized their brain is boom, boom. Like they think that we mean we're going to get boom, boomed or whatever, or SA'd. If you're not on TikTok, we have a lot of terms and stuff that we can't say. Our accounts will get flagged, stuff like that. So SA, how you have babies and then assaulted. Okay. So we're not just talking about, we don't feel safe because we might get SA'd, or we don't feel safe because, no, we're talking about safety as in, do I have to be on guard? Do I have to code switch to make the people around me feel comfortable and less threatened by me? Do I have to downplay myself because whatever? Do I have to explain basic human understandings of race relations to this person? Are they going to say something that's culturally insensitive and then double down on it when I call them out on it? These are all things that nobody wants to deal with while they're trying to progress. And I had been in so many spaces online where the instructors had very good intentions. However, they lacked context, and most of all, they lacked experience in the worlds of people that look like me. Prime example, at the height of my online coaching, my mentor asked me to come back to her business and be her mindset coach for her other online coaches, which I thought was amazing because mindset is something I struggled with so much when she was my coach. So to be invited back and to be like side by side with her was like, oh my God. But quickly I noticed that the clients that were struggling the most in her program to see results in their business were Black people. And she'd be like, she couldn't figure it. Like she would give me, we do one-on-ones, which were not a part of her program, but she's like, hey, work your magic. And I would talk to them and I would hear their stories. And I was like, this isn't a mindset thing. This person doesn't have mindset blocks or whatever. Well, they did. But also the biggest issue is their reality. You're telling them, this isn't really a problem. It's not that you can't do sales. You just need to do this. No. They really, like their circle of influence, the people they know on Facebook, like their town, their hometown. No, nobody's going to pay them to work with them. And it was moments like that where I would notice that we're telling y'all real situations, real things that we're experiencing. And your response is, no, it's just in your head, essentially. That's called bypassing. So when I say creating safe spaces for women of color, for Black women, for I mean stuff like that, where they can come to you, to me, to my staff, my community with their issues and not have somebody downplay them or say it's trauma dumping. Sometimes, people do trauma dumping, but I want to create a space where you don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I am. That's what I do. And I did this online. I created a safe space in an online community. And now I want to create a safe space in person here in Orlando, Florida, because of my so many incidents in the gym that just weren't cute. And I'm sure you can relate. If you're new here, sorry for that 10-minute intro. I have ADHD, if you couldn't tell, and we are hesitant to get on meds, but we'll be there soon because this is out of control. But if you are new to the show, Breakdown with Bonds, you can find this bad boy on YouTube right now on my personal channel. Then the next few months, though, we'll be branching it off and putting it in the corresponding channels that I have. So anywho, last but not least, we got a sale running on right now because we finally hit 10K on TikTok. And that means we're giving half off your first month of my online membership. Or if you're someone that's in person, you can get your first 4 sessions for just $149. Details will be in the show notes or in the comments. But let's go ahead and jump into this because, again, that was a 10-minute intro. Okay, so not feeling safe in the gym, or the gym culture feeling like actual bug repellent, or a place you'd never walk into if you were an atheist, somewhere like a church. I agree. I don't think that space was made, it certainly wasn't made for everybody. Even little small details, like my girlfriend who's 4'11", when she tries to do the lat pull down, she has to stand on the chair to get to the lat pull down. And that may seem like not a big deal to you, but for people who are already in a world that wasn't made for them, and you're already walking into a place that can be a source of stress and anxiety, when you add in all of these minor inconveniences, it's just a reminder of how this place wasn't made for you. Or it can just, you know how your emotions are. If you're already agitated and you go into a grocery store and somebody cuts you off and this is that, those little cutoffs and little random things aren't the worst thing ever to happen, but you're already having a bad day. And so that's kind of the same thing for women. When we walk into a gym, you're already having a bad day. At the last gym that I worked at, the owner used to literally sexualize the clients and my niece that he didn't know was my niece as they come in. And he would do it to me, with me, because he thought, because I don't want to offend anyone, but like, I just like humans. Okay. Well, anyway, he thought he would talk to me about it because, that's where the word queer comes from. For those of y'all that are outside the community, it's queer. Like, I've never really wanted to define myself. Society wanted me to, so I guess the best explanation would be bi. I'm in a relationship with a woman right now, and I don't really see myself with men again, so I guess some people would call that lesbian. We're gonna go ahead and get back on topic now. Anywho, he would talk about women that come in the gym with me like, oh, well, you fuck women too, so we're just gonna degrade these women together. And I'm looking at him like, motherfucker, that's my niece. Anyways, yeah, it's you come into the gym, you're getting dehumanized, the equipment doesn't work right for you, and then you got people with stink attitudes, and you got people who are just crazy, and it's a lot. It's not a very fun place for a lot of people. And then when you add in other things like you being overweight, and there are people that look at overweight people like, what the fuck are you doing here? I know, it's crazy. So it's just not the most welcoming of places. And then you'll have people and coaches even who will be like, well, you need to toughen up, you need to go in there. I was one of them for a very long time, forgive me. And I still do believe in you confronting your fears. However, I also believe, hey, we're in America, in capitalism, right? So it's a free market. So we get to create spaces where you don't have to deal with that. That's literally what businesses are all about. Oh, you don't like this? Well, let's create something else. Oh, you don't like this? So I don't really think that this is something that people should be looking at as especially the men, because they ain't got shit to do with you. This isn't necessarily a anti-man space. It's like, no, we want a place that's made for us. That's not like, is that too much to ask? Y'all had boys clubs for centuries. Get on my face. Okay, so the discomfort that we can feel when we walk in the gym, definitely a huge factor in why some people struggle to stay consistent. So before I say anything else, I just want you to know that I see you and I hear you and I totally get it. I shared, this girl came and stood right in front of me in the mirror one of my first times at the gym, one of my first times wearing a sports bra. And for no reason, there was like all this fucking mirror on the other side, and she just came and stood right in front of me just to be a mean girl. I don't know if I was giving off insecure energy. I don't know if this was years ago, but that incident right there made me, I would never want to come back again. And then on to the anti-MAGA thing. You can't listen. All of the gym experiences that I've had that were negative with men, you can't tell me that those men left the gym and went and voted in my favor. I'm going to have a very fucking hard time being convinced that a man who was so disrespectful to me, a dude broke my tripod in the gym and just kept walking. Like, he walked onto the squat platform where I was squatting, because there's barbells behind you. Didn't say really excuse me, just kind of pointed. And he went and grabbed the barbell, knocked over my tripod on accident, and it fucking broke. He never apologized, never offered to replace it, nothing. And we saw each other at the gym all the time. This dude was black and he only smiled at the white woman. He never smiled or like whatever with me. So I already know the type. But I have a hard time, someone that acts like that to his own people. I have a hard time believing that he voted for Kamala or that he didn't vote for Trump. Okay, that's just one incident. I remember one time I was doing a superset with some landmines, which is where the barbells hanging out the floor. And I was doing something with dumbbells. So I was going back and forth between the two, and it wasn't really taking up anybody else's space, because I put the dumbbells back. So it's not like I took the only 20s in the gym or whatever. And there's multiple landmine areas where you can hook up your barbell. These guys, oh, also I had my bag and my water bottle and everything around it, so it's clear somebody has used this. And you have to go get your own barbell to set up this exercise. They're not just always there. So if you see that it's something you have to set up and someone's bag and water bottle are there, common sense tells you somebody's using it. I came back from my shoulder superset to come do my landmines, and there's two guys on my setup. And I'm just standing there, like, making it clear, like, my bag, my barbell, and they just looked at me and just ignored me. In fact, the other dude hopped in and finished his set. When they were done, they just dropped the stuff on the ground and walked away. Again, this was before this throat chakra opened up. This was before I felt confident enough to stand up on myself and was comfortable with confrontation. And I just remember thinking, like, what the fuck is, like, because back then my mindset was not what it is now. And I was like, well, dang. I was like, do people just, am I like, what the fuck? So for those guys, you're going to have a hell of a time convincing me that men that would treat a woman and a black woman like this, you have a hard time. You will not convince me that they have respect enough for me, or that they have the empathy or the just to give a fuck about another person to not be MAGA. So this isn't about anti-man. This is about the type of men that are in the gyms more consistently, and the way that we can tell how their behavior, how they treat people, how they don't treat people, how they have respect and consideration for people, right? Because the people that can vote for mass deportations are probably the same people that go in the gym and not give a fuck about other people. You see that? Okay. So that's why I wanted to make my gym a safe space, so that people don't have to deal with that shit on top of everything else that they're dealing with when they come to work out. So I hear you 1000%, but, water break. By the way, if you haven't gotten your 90 ounces, I said 90. If you haven't gotten at least, 6 times 8, 64. If you haven't gotten your 64 glasses in today, don't forget to do so. If you're on a weight loss or fitness journey, I need you to aim closer to 90. I'm so hungry. This is not food. All right, jumping right back in. So I hear you on the gym being a shit show in most cases, more often than not. And you don't get to use that as an excuse to not move forward with your health. Because lately what has happened is we've gotten to this place where people will be like, well, I love my body. Like, body positivity somehow turned into condoning unhealthy habits. Even Lizzo, who was like the queen of body positivity, started working out. I haven't followed her closely enough to see if it's because of health issues or if it's because she just wanted to feel stronger. I think she said she just wanted to feel stronger. But regardless, as a coach, as someone who is inundated with personal reasons and excuses that sound very good to the people giving them to me, I've noticed widespread that for people who have felt uncomfortable and out of place in the gym, we have justified our lifestyle. We have justified our intuitive eating. We have justified our lack of activity. We've justified a lot of reasons for not being healthy. And I'm here to call you on your BS because I love you. Because I'm tired of the amount of women, Black women, that come to me that have heart issues, that have high blood pressure, that have diabetes. Because I'm tired of seeing women like my partner's mother, who's 80 years old and has a partner that's the same age as her, and he's fully functional, knows what day it is, and is strong, and she doesn't always know what day it is and is weak and pretty much frail. Like, this is all because we, as a society, then as women, we will accept the excuses that we have for why we can't get stuff done. Now, as a single mom, a mother of 2, I'm not here to tell you, oh, y'all have the same 24 hours in a day. Like, no. But what I'm not going to let you do is let other people let you sit in your excuses. Because it's so much easier to put the blame on the fact that people suck in the gym and that's why you don't go there. Which brings me to the whole home workout situation. Some of y'all, or people, humans, will buy a whole ass home gym. Never mind if it's not really a home gym and it's just some bands and a couple of items here and there. But there are people that will invest in a full service home gym. And if you saw today's post, I'm like, that's dope. Like, I think that's actually really great. One of my clients that's seeing some serious success right now, he has a home gym. He's got a leg press. He has a squat rack. He's got multiple kettlebells, got multiple dumbbells. Like, he's got a home gym. So technically, like, he's chilling. But there's some of you that, and he knows how to use it. Some of y'all will get a whole ass brand new home gym and you've never really been to the gym, so that you don't even feel comfortable with the equipment. And the reason why I want you to feel comfortable with this gym equipment is because when you get home, those things aren't like industrial strength. So you'll need to know how to tweak it or whatever. And if you've never had experience with a machine like that before, that's what we call a waste of money. I've had clients who've invited, like I went to their home to train them because they wouldn't use their own gym that they spent thousands of dollars on because they don't know how. Okay. If you're going to do the home gym route, bet. Like, gym is not the only path there, but I need you to understand, either way, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Getting that equipment for your house is expensive. And then what's even more expensive is getting all that equipment for your house and then realizing you don't know what to do with it. So make sure that you know what to do with it before you spend all that money, and gradually build. But the best home gyms are created by people, in my opinion, by people who have been to the gym and know what machines they like and know which machine they're going to get the most bang for their buck for, and then can properly utilize it at home. So if you are going to completely avoid the gym and you're going to go the home gym route, please make sure that you know how to use said equipment so that you don't feel like you just wasted a whole bunch of money on something that you're never going to really use. Okay. The next thing, maybe you do know how to use the gym equipment. Maybe you did used to go to the gym and you were just fed up with it. But your issue wasn't working out. You like working out. Your issue was consistency. Your issue was motivation. Meaning, like, when you know you got a trip coming up, you'll work out. But the second the trip is over, or the second you're not seeing results in 3 days, now all of a sudden your motivation isn't there and you don't want to go work out in that gym that you've spent thousands of dollars for. Now all of a sudden that $10 membership is tempting, but then you remembered why you don't like to go to the $10 membership. And now here we are, you're not working out. Tell me you've experienced this before without telling me you've experienced this before. Okay, see it all the time. So if you're going to go the home gym route, make sure, right, that you have at least some kind of a program and structure that tells you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, right? If that is your thing. If you're not going to go to the gym, but you will work out, make sure that you get a program or something to stick to and something to come back and check your progress. Otherwise, it's just going to be you perpetually working out and, like a lot of people, not really pushing themselves to the threshold that it takes to see change. They're just working out enough to burn calories, sweat, and be like, I did a good job. And I really hate to break it to y'all, but that is, like, working out in that zone is how you maintain the progress. To get to the progress or the goal, you got to train at a pretty consistent and relatively high level of intensity. Most people don't know what that is. That's where, people like me come in. But if you're going to do the at-home route, make sure that you're training to the level of intensity that you need to, like we discussed on Monday about bodyweight workouts, and make sure that you have a structure. Even if you ask ChatGPT, write me a structure, like have something that you can see, something that you can write, something that you can take notes in your phone, something to come back to you so you can measure your own progress. Boom. But let's say, like I said, you don't struggle with exercising, you struggle with actually doing it. Then you need accountability. And no amount of home gym equipment, no amount of gym memberships, and no amount of having friends that are your gym buddies is going to be the accountability that someone who doesn't have the motivation to work out on their own needs. Your friends that work out with you that are already fit are great people to have in your circle because you need that. However, unless this is something that they do for work, like they're used to being a service provider in some way, shape, or form, having the patience to, actually, you know what? Friends are patient, so I'm not even going to do that. You're not paying them to check on your food and your workouts, so they're probably not going to do it consistently. And not only that, most people know how to do what works for them from their own trial and error. But if you don't have that bandwidth to withstand the trial and error that is a natural part of the weight loss journey, what makes you think like someone else is going to have the patience with you? I mean, again, I'm not trying to throw down your friends. I'm just trying to put it in a perspective so you can understand why what you were doing before didn't work. No, like, this is my job. This is how I support myself and my family. And you have a job, which is how you support yourself and family. And if someone were to walk in and be like, well, I don't know, let's say they made an appointment for your services and they heard what you do and they're like, yeah, you know what? You can sit this one out. I'll take care of it. I got it from here. You probably look at them like, well, how do you know what to do? Or I went through training. I went same thing. But your friends didn't go through training. Your friends may not, they don't know what they don't know. And so sometimes we're shooting ourselves in the foot when we put our health and the responsibility of our friend who's supposed to be our accountability partner, and they're already in shape. They've already done that mental work to get over that hump. And supporting someone else on that journey can be taxing, which is why your friends and your family don't always make the best accountability partners. They can, and people have done it before, but I'm just trying to give you insight as to why it may not have worked for you. So if you are someone who struggles with consistency and accountability, then my friend, here are your options. I'm going to give you 3 levels of options. Number 1, the free level. Free 99 means joining a Facebook group for accountability. And even if you're just posting yourself on your own, it's a way of being accountable, because when you don't post for a few days, you'll feel embarrassed or whatever. Also community workouts that are free. I don't know about y'all, but in Orlando, we have a whole bunch of like free run in the park, Orlando Fit Club, Orlando Black and Fit, like all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of free stuff out there for you. The third thing, so we got free stuff, Facebook groups, and free like workouts in person, local community workouts. The second thing would be like a low cost membership. So many people have them. I have them. Some of your favorite influencers have them. These things can be $9, $10, $20, $30, $40. What I'm going to tell you is don't buy it off of price. Buy it off of the value that you believe you're going to get. So if you sign up, like, just so you know, okay? Because it may be very tempting to buy the $10 one, and the $10 one may not have the things that you need. It may be very tempting to get this influencers one that has everything, like, they're like, why would they be tempted? Oh, because they're popular and because they have good before and after pictures to your knowledge. But that person, and what happens a lot sometimes is when you have a big platform or a big business, you're not in it. So you're just literally getting the membership. You're not getting the coaching of that person. So that's something to really pay attention to if that's something that you need. So there are low cost memberships online. There's apps on phones, all kinds of ways that you can have some sort of a structure and a plan. And then last but not least, if you know that you need someone to break this shit down for you, if you know that you need a personal coach bonds like me in your ear talking to you, if you know that you need a lot because you are a lot, then if your success depends on your ability to give yourself what you need. So if you're giving yourself a home gym when you actually need a coach, if you're giving yourself Planet Fitness when you actually need, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why you would need anything other than Planet Fitness unless, you want some barbells or a sauna. But no, give yourself what you need so that you can be successful on this journey. Because if not, you're going to stay in this ever like habit loop of this isn't for me, or gym culture isn't for me because the guys are toxic, or I'll never be in shape because of this. And this, stop. I love you and I need you to stop making these excuses. Okay, we're not going to let these assholes stand in the way of what you want most. Just like me, I quit going to church because there were so many issues. But I'm not going to let those people stop me from my relationship with my creator. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly what you guys are doing when you avoid the gym because of toxic, shitty gym bros and their friends. So that is all I have for you today on this episode of The Breakdown with Bonds. I don't know how I keep making these 30-minute episodes. I'm so sorry, guys. Either way, if you did get value from today, drop it in the comments. Let me know what stuck out the most for you. Be sure to comment, share, and subscribe so that you can come back and get more tips and more helpful things for people like us. See you next time.